In this video, I'm reading literary fiction for a week, so let's see if I enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe because there's new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and I hope you guys enjoy. From the title, you already know what we're doing this video, but I'm literally nervous, and I think it's because I just genuinely do not read this genre very often. I love romances and I love thrillers, but I think because I went to university and like my major was English, I read so many classics and read so many like women's fiction and just like so many books that I genuinely was not interested in at the moment that I feel like it almost burned me out on reading contemporary or literary fiction. But we are like jumping into new genres this year. Like that is something that I've like really wanted to do and make it like a focus of mine. Not that we will not be reading like thrillers and romances, but I think I need to just bite the bullet and just do it. So I'm gonna pick a book off of my bookshelf, like from my little TBR like stack. I have so many books that are romance on my stack, but I think I have two like literary or contemporary fiction. I have a hard time like figuring out what the difference is between the two. I think literary fiction is like books that are not set in present time that are fiction, right? But like they obviously don't have like romance or anything like that in them. And then contemporary is like contemporary time, I think. So like would Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo be contemporary fiction or would it be literary fiction? Because in my head, I almost think of literary fiction as like the books that stand the test of time. And then I think of contemporary fiction as like the books that are like popular now, that are like fiction, but they aren't necessarily like, I don't know, falling in the literary fiction genre. But then again, some people say that the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is a romance, which to me, it didn't feel like that by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I don't know, let me know your thoughts. But I think that this book is a true work of fiction, whether it's contemporary or literary fiction, I don't know. But for the sake of this video, I wanna pick it because it's been a book that's been on my TBR for a while and I just haven't gotten to it. The book is My Dark Vanessa. I've heard so many good things about this book. I've heard that it's a book that'll make you cry. It's been on my TBR for so long and so many of you guys have said that I need to read it. And since I just finished reading viral TikTok books or book talk books and I didn't expect to like them and I did end up loving so many of them, now I'm feeling like maybe I will also love this too. And I really want to give like books that are in different genres a try just because I think sometimes I have this notion of like how they'll be in my head and they won't actually be that way. So we are going to read that book and start it, but before we do that, I need to go get my eyebrows done. So I want to go to Walmart because that's actually the place that I get my eyebrows done. The lady used to have like a shop outside of Walmart. It was like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes away, like in its own little like corner. And I started going when I was like 14 and then she moved into Walmart and it's like so busy. And I still go to her because literally I've been going to her since I was like 14. So we're gonna go there. But while we're at Walmart, I wanna see what books they have there. I like don't normally bookshop at Walmart. I feel like I normally bookshop at like Barnes or like indie businesses, but I do think that it would be cool to see what they have. So let's head over there and then we'll maybe go to a coffee shop and do a little reading too. Have an incredible selection in here. I'm really shook. I did not realize that this series, you guys know I read Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. I did not realize that this is like a whole like series of her life, and I think that this is the newest book that came out, so you can buy the new book by itself, but I think the other book is like in this little pack. I didn't even know that this was like a series. I feel like series are coming out so fast. I enjoyed Girl in Pieces, but it was really, really sad, so I feel like you definitely have to be in the right headspace to read it. They have so many good books here. They have Binding 13, like I'm literally shook. They have The Friend Zone from written by Abby Jimenez, which I love her writing. They have Yours Truly down there. They have Elle Kennedy books. They have Kennedy Ryan here. Like, I mean, this is giving Barnes & Noble. Like, I kid you not. There's Sarah Adams. They have Take a Hint, Danny Brown. Over here, they have literally like all the popular TikTok books. They have Wildfire. They have The Coworker by Frida McFadden. And I saw another book over here that I thought you guys would think is cool that they had here. Oh, Done and Freaking Dusted. They have this here. So many like popular, but also like popular new books, which I feel like is very rare. They also have a like black only section, like, well, not only, but like books but written by black authors, which I thought was really cool. So look what else they have. They have Magnolia Parks here in Walmart. I'm shook. Like everything in here, this is literally giving Barnes. I also saw this book in Barnes. It's called The Roommate Pact, and I think it's about like a doctor or like two doctors and like a nurse or something. And then down here they also have One Dark Window, which like all of these books are literally so TikTok, like BookTok coded. I'm very, very proud of Walmart. They're doing the most, which I'm here for. Saw that they had Crying in H Mart over there, and then over here, I just don't want to walk back over there to show you guys, but over here they have House Across the Lake, Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. They have Sarah J Maas, like newest book. I am so impressed. This is making me want to buy another Sarah Dessen book because I used to love her books when I was in high school. Like everything she wrote, I ate it up. And I feel like this is maybe a newer one, or maybe it's just like a new cover. I'm not really sure. Let me see. Yeah, this is a new cover because it was written in 2019, but I never read this one, and now I kind of want to read it. Maybe I'll like read some older books that I like read back in the day to see how I feel about them now. Also, speaking of older books, you guys know I read Archer's Voice, and they came out with Travis, which is like his redemption story. Travis does not need a redemption story. Like literally, he doesn't. I just want to keep seeing him as a villain because there's nothing he can do to redeem himself in my eyes. Ever go in stores and you see books that you haven't read and you're like, why haven't I read those yet? The books that I always see that I haven't read that I need to read are People We Meet on Vacation, because I've literally read all of her other books. Well, not all of her other books, but I think all of the like popular ones like Book Lovers, Beach Read, Happy Place, and the only one I haven't read is People We Meet on Vacation. Maybe I'll read it this summer. I feel like every summer I say I'm gonna read it. And another book that I've been seeing a lot that I keep being like I need to read because I loved all the other ones is Love Redesign. I read all of the Dreamland Billionaire series, and I kind of want to read this one because her new book comes out actually in June. And like, how do you write a 700-page book or 600-page or however like thick this is, and then come out with a book literally a couple months later? Like this came out in like November, and she's already coming out with another book in June. These authors, like, something's going on. I don't know how they have the energy for like this many books. Seeing these books in this series is making me think about how much I liked Brutal Prince. I think I rated this one 4 stars, and it's making me want to read the rest of them. This one was like under 300 pages, I'm pretty sure, and I feel like I should hop back into the series because it was really good. Oh, they do have one copy of this book, the one that is after Girl in Pieces. This is the second book I think in the series, and the third one is You'd Be Home Now. I wasn't like obsessed with this one, but I kind of want to get it because I feel like I'm just like a big series person, and if I read the first one I kind of feel like I want to read the next one. One of you guys told me I need to read the Addicted series if I liked Binding 13, which I really did, so I'm kind of like tempted to pick up this series, but it's just so long, it's so intimidating. But guys, look at all these good books that they have in here. I'm just like, I cannot say this enough. I am so surprised by all the books that they have in here. It's like literally in all of these, like I've never heard of this one, never heard of this one, never heard of this one, never heard of this one. So many good new books, but also like popular books too. I've never heard of this book, but it's a sapphic sports rom-com, and it looks really cute. It says, love takes center court in this delightful will they or won't they sapphic sports rom-com. How cute. This looks so cute. Dungeons and Drama. It looks like a really fluffy romance. As no one loves musicals more than Riley Morris, or her dream is to be a Broadway director. But when the spring, I literally can't talk today. When the spring show is canceled, Riley has to figure out a way to bring it back. Easier said than done. She's stuck working at her dad's game store, the place that means more to him than his family does. This looks really cute. They also have tons of the Boys of Tommen series in here, and they didn't even have the third book, or was it the second? They didn't have one of these books in Barnes, and they have it here. That is wild. I ended up getting something from Walmart, a book there, but I also realized that I never showed you guys the book haul that I said I had in my last video. So I want to show you guys. I think I mentioned this just like briefly in the video where I was reading viral TikTok books. I got this big package and I have been so excited for this because it took a while to get here, but it's here. And now that it's here, I have to show you guys. Oh my God. Ah! That literally almost fell on the floor. Oh my gosh. I'm getting stronger. Like the fact that I work out so often, one thing I was noticing the other day was like, I'm working out literally for strength and it is all like, it's working. Like I feel so much stronger. The other day, I took out 2 trash bags and they were super packed, like so heavy. Took them both out in one hand, easy, like easy. And I was just like, you know what? This is what I get for all the work that I do. But guys, look what I got. I got Daisy Hates, and this is the original cover. I also got Long Way Home, the original cover. You guys can't see where this is going. I feel like you probably like kind of know where it's going. I also got The Great Undoing with the original covers. Now, I got these because I have been just like, I don't know. I'm so happy that my friends are getting into this series and I feel like they are gonna love this series even more with the original covers. There's just something about the original covers that I feel like just make me really happy. So I'm giving this to a friend and I think that they'll really enjoy them. And I had to buy them because I just think that they will love these. And these original covers are literally beautiful. Like they are art. So yeah, I got all 3 of these for them. Granted, it did take a while. I also bought the original cover of the last book for myself. And I bought an extra one, which is what actually gave me the idea to buy like the rest of the series for them, because I bought 2 of these. So I'm like, I can't just give this to someone and not give them the rest. So I decided to give them the whole series, and I really hope that they like it. But I will show you guys who gets that in the like video. I don't know if it'll be this video, if it'll be another video, but I'll definitely let you know whenever I get to that point. Because you guys will see it. But I want to show you guys the book that I got from Walmart. They had so many good books. I was very surprised. I ended up picking up Legendborn, which you guys know I'm not a fantasy girly, but I want to get into more genres this year. And I actually was encouraged to read this by my friend Chandrika. I went to a small town of like 239 people. I shared in my community tab that you guys should go over to my Instagram because I wouldn't be sharing that here. It was so fun. Like I had the best time there and I already want to go back, but we were talking about books a lot and I shared that on my story. And I also went to like a little bookstore, shared that on my story. If you guys want to see what I did there in like our little book chat, I actually saved it to a highlight called Roachport, which is where I was staying in Missouri. So you guys can go, and we talked about books, went to a bookstore, but she recommended this book to me, which I didn't share like anywhere because we were just like talking and I didn't like film it or whatever. But I didn't realize that this is set in like present day. I think I thought that this book would be like really hard to get into or like some really deep world. It doesn't really look like that. Like on the back it says, after her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family members or childhood home. A residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill seems like the perfect escape until Bree witnesses a magical attack her very first night on campus. A flying demon feeding on human energies. Guys, I did not read the back of this. I don't know if I want to read about that. She was like, oh, it's set in like a high school, like it's a YA book, it's really easy to read. I'm like, oh, cool. I don't know. Someone comment below if you guys think that I should read this, but I don't know. This might be outside of my, like, what I normally like to read. Maybe oh my God. I literally did not know that this is what that's about. A secret society of so-called legend-born students that hunt the creatures down, and a mysterious teenage mage who calls himself a Merlin and who attempts and fails to wipe Bree's memory of everything she saw. The mage's failure reveals Bree's own unique magic and a buried humor with a hidden connection. The night her mother died, another Merlin was at the hospital. Now that Bree knows there's more to her mother's death than what's on the police report, she'll do whatever it takes to find out the truth, even if that means infiltrating the legend-born as one of their initiates. She recruits Nick, a self-exiled Legendborn, with his own grudge against the group, and their reluctant partnership pulls him deeper into the society's secrets and the closer to each other. But when the Legendborn reveals himself to the descendants of King Arthur's knights and explains that a magical war is coming, Bree has to decide how far she'll go for the truth and whether she should use her magic to take the society down or join the fight. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not a big magic girl, and I definitely don't like dipping my toe into reading about demons. Like, I just don't. Like, I feel like that's a hard line for me. I don't know if I'm gonna read this. But I do really like to put books by Black authors into free little libraries, so maybe I'll put this in there. I should have read the back of the book when I picked this up at the store. And I think that's part of the reason why I don't really read a ton of fantasy, because I just don't like dipping my toe into the magic world. Like, it kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies, the creeps. Like, whenever I'm reading like horror, well, I guess I don't read horror, but whenever I'm reading like thrillers that get into like the spiritual like stuff, I'm like, skirt! No thank you. Absolutely not. No thank you. Like, I can deal with kidnappings. I can deal with like things that happen like where like people are touching the ground and like people on this earth are walking around, but anything that is like that supernatural literally freaks me the heck out. So I don't know if this is gonna be for me, but I definitely think that someone will really enjoy it. It just might not be my cup of tea. So I got like 10 pages into this and I'm already like, this is gonna be tough. Like, this is gonna be a hard one. So I think I'm going to start my second book while I'm reading this one, because if I need to put this one down, I can pick this one up. This is the final revival of Opal and Nev. This is supposed to be kind of like Daisy Jones and the Six vibes. And I love Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read that like a few years ago. And this is by a Black author. So it's the same vibe, like they're starting a band. I think this is actually historical fiction, so this actually might be my first historical fiction in like a really long time. It says that the final revival of Opal and Nev features a backup chorus of unforgettable voices, a heroine the likes of which we haven't seen in storytelling, and a daring structure, and introduces a bold new voice in contemporary fiction. Oh, it is contemporary fiction. Okay. I think I thought that this was historical fiction, but I guess not. It looks like it's going to be really good. It says, Opal is fiercely independent woman pushing against the grain in her style and attitude, a Black punk artist, which I love. Literally, I feel like I've seen so many like Black punk artists on TikTok lately, and I'm just here for it. And this is obviously not in the present time, so that's even like more interesting. It says, coming of age in Detroit, she can't imagine settling for a comfortable job. Despite her unconventional looks, Opal believes she can be a star, so when British singer and songwriter Neville Charles discovers her at a bar to amateur night, she takes him up on his offer to make rock music together for the fledgling Rivington Records. In early 70s New York City, just as she's finding her niche as part of a flamboyant and funky creative scene, a rival band signed to her label brandishes a Confederate flag at a promotional concert. Opal's bold protest and the violence that ensues sets off a chain of events that will not only change the lives of those she loves, but also be a deadly reminder that repercussions are always harsher for women, especially Black women who dare to speak their truth. Decades later, as Opal considers a 2016 reunion with Nev, music journalist S. Sunny Shelton seizes a chance to curate an oral history about her idols. Sunny thought she knew most of the stories leading up to the cult duo's most politicized chapter, but as her interviews dig deeper, a nasty new allegation from an unexpected source threatens to blow up everything. This looks really good. I wonder if this was written before Daisy Jones and the Six, because this is like a very similar plot line, only just like a different type of band, and obviously it's like with a Black woman, so, or maybe they were written around the same time, I don't know, but I'm really excited to dive into this. There's a really long forward at the beginning of this, so I'll probably read that, and I normally don't read forwards, but I feel like going into this, I feel like I need that. I don't know if I even shared what this book is about. It's about a girl who, I don't really know very much because I'm only like 10 pages in. I literally was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be like a hard one. But I'm pretty sure the girl is like dating a guy. I think she's like early 20s, maybe like 20, 21 or something like that. And she's dating a guy who's like in his 40s and he's her professor. And so you see, I think, past and present timeline. And I think the present timeline is women are coming forward saying that as a professor, he assaulted them and took advantage of them. And then I think you get the past timeline of like them being together and him kind of doing the same thing to her. But I think as you read it, at least from what I've seen in the first 10 pages, it almost seems like she doesn't see their relationship as like wrong. So it'd be really interesting to like read this from that point of view. But I have heard that this is a very, very hard book, and I can already tell within the first 10 pages, I'm like, whoo, this is gonna be a deep one. So I'm gonna read both of these just because I genuinely cannot like just read this and this only. I need to be able to take breaks, and I feel like this will be a good one to take a break with. Ordered this a long time ago and it just came in.
Oh my gosh! Wait! The original covers!
Yes,
oh,
yeah.
I wanted these!
Yep, I ordered them from the UK because they don't sell them in the States anymore.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited!
Now you have all of them. Did I order the first one for you? Do you have Magnolia Parks, like the first original cover?
I have your copy that I need to give back to
Oh, you can keep it because I actually bought another one. So.
Okay, because I actually, no, so, okay. I'll tell you when the camera's off.
Okay.
But I have your copy and I also have another copy.
Okay, okay.
But thank you so much. I love these.
Yay, so now you have all of them. So this is the one that you're going to read next.
Yes, this one.
And then that's the other one. That's the last one. Isn't that like, that literally looks like art.
So much. Oh,
right?
I love this one.
Yay.
Why did they change that?
I know.
I love this
right?
one.
Well, also like, okay, so you can see like the guns on there,
Yes,
like
it tells you the story, but like
literally
you don't know like
what
now that I've read it, I understand.
you can
it.
look back on it, yeah, and see like,
that.
and on here they have like all these little, I'm trying to see some little like things that they have on here. Like you can see like the city right there, like just all these like random things from them. And then this one also has stuff on it.
The dead bees are scaring me. Look, I'm scared.
I know. literally no business being in here. I got done with my workout today and I was like, oh, I should buy a new dog bowl for Bane. I saw this TikTok and they were like, how often do you wash your dog's pet bowl? And I'm like, literally never. Like, I just never think about it. So I'm like, just gonna buy a brand new one. I got this one, and then I also got this. And I also saw this TikTok that's like, sometimes you go into Target and Target just tells you what you need. Like, you don't tell Target what you need. And I feel like that is like so true, because I have way more stuff like than I planned on getting today. But I had to stop in the book section to see what they had in here, because I feel like Barnes has good books, but Target always has like good sales. So I wanted to see like if they had any good sales going on. They have a lot of books for like 20 and 30% off. Like this one is 30% off. This one is 20% off the cover price. And then over here, most of these are like all 20% off, which I feel like is a really good deal. And the books like aren't too wildly expensive either. I don't know what it is, but there's like nothing in me that wants to buy a thriller from a young adult section. I literally don't know why, because I've heard that this series is really good. I've heard this series is really good, but there's just like, I don't know, I always feel like it's just gonna be like not that good for some reason. Comment below if you guys have read some good YA thrillers. I've seen everyone and their mom talk about Dune. Like, I've never watched it, but I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and Brady was watching it the other night and he was like, I was so confused as to what was happening. He was like, it was like they were just speaking gibberish like the whole movie. And I would come in on parts and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, literally, I don't even know. And he wasn't like on his phone or anything. He was literally just like focused on the movie. He just had no idea what was going on. I hate movies like that. You guys know I don't watch a ton of like TV because I'm always reading, but I will pick up a book that is going to be turned into a movie or already has been. I feel like that is like the equivalent of me being like a part of the movie scene, even though I actually haven't watched it. I did hear that this book wasn't the best, and like the movie or show or whatever is so much better. But I feel like I'm the only one who hasn't seen this show yet. Not me just now realizing that like one of my favorite shows as a kid was actually like real like anime. This is so interesting. Or like a book or manga or whatever, graphic novel. I don't really know like how it's categorized, but it's like backwards. So I feel like it's probably categorized as manga maybe? I don't really know, but that was very interesting to me because I didn't even know that the show was like not anything else other than the show. I just love looking in Target to see what they have because I feel like I always find something, and I definitely did. First thing I found are these pillows. So my couch, I definitely need a new one, but we're trying to like hold off because like we just don't want to buy a new one just yet because I don't know, we're gonna try to make this one last longer. And I feel like adding in pillows on a couch that's like on its last life definitely helps. So these are really cute. And then I also got something for a coffee table, which this is actually, I'll link this below. It is my favorite piece. I love this piece so much because it's literally a bookshelf. Like, I have it color coordinated and these are all books that I finished, but I feel like it's such a good talking piece when friends come over. But I ended up picking up this huge candle and it smells so good. It's called Canvas. I don't know if you guys can even like see that. There we go. It's called Canvas. It's super huge and heavy. And I just wanted to put it here on top of this like coffee table book. And you can actually smell it just by having it in the room and not even having it like lit or anything, which was kind of like the vibe that I was going for. I also got some other candles and I'll probably show you guys that. Maybe I probably won't show you at a later date, to be honest, because Target candles are Target candles. Like, they smell great. And they're actually, I got that same brand where I got the Canvas one. It's just the brand, or the smell that I got is called Salt. For an update on this book, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm on chapter 18. I feel like this book encapsulates how it feels to be Black in like just the world we live in, because even though she is like a punk rocker and she's like trying to like make it, she is working 10 times harder to just get like the bare minimum, and people are literally like turning her down left and right, or like saying that she's like at fault for this or for that, and like just don't ever give her the benefit of the doubt. And I feel like that is so true to just being a Black person. I would say woman, but also like men, literally anyone, like just being Black and living in skin that so many people don't like. I feel like this book encapsulates how that feels. I also really think that this book does a great job of like, I don't know, telling the history of that time period too, which I compared this to Daisy Jones and the Six, which I almost wish that I hadn't initially because they're so different. Like, I feel like Daisy Jones and the Six talked a lot about how it is to be a woman and how you can be like looked down upon for being a woman and trying to like be free and like all of those things. But this is so like for the culture. Like, Opal is literally clawing her way up and out, trying to like make a good life for herself with her talents, and like everyone wants to hold her back. Also in this book, there is like a big thing that happens with another band, and I think I read it on the inside flap with them like having the Confederate flag, and so you see all of that, and like the conversations that people have in this book obviously are like for this time period, but they are also conversations that people still have now. So it is very, very like nice to read, because I feel like it's making me feel very like seen in how I feel sometimes, just like living in the world that we live in. I also do like how this is told in like a past and present type of timeline. I feel like that's really enjoyable to read, because the first part of the book I feel like was a little slower, and then it got super like sped up in the middle, and then I kind of was like, it started slowing down a bit towards like where I'm at now. So we'll see how I feel towards the end, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I feel like it's a great book if you really like historical fiction. Even though this is set as like contemporary fiction, I feel like it definitely gives historical fiction vibe. I finished this book, so let's talk about it while I like put together these bouquets. I've been trying to just like add in springy vibes into the house, like wearing spring dresses and just like putting together spring floral arrangements and stuff. I feel like it puts me in a much better mood, because I'm just like, summer's here, spring's here, like, you know, it's getting warm. But I finished this book, and I feel like the middle of this book was my favorite, but overall, I was just like a little bored at times. Like, not the whole time, but like a large part of the book. I think that the messaging was good, but I feel like this just didn't really hold my attention in the way that I wanted it to. There were times where I feel like I was looking to the next page, like, okay, when are we getting to the next part? I don't know, I just wasn't enthralled by it. I do think that it's a good book. I would probably rate it 3 stars, because again, I feel like that's just kind of like mid. Like, it's not bad, it's not great, it just is. It's definitely a book I would recommend to someone who likes to read more like historical fiction, literary fiction, contemporary fiction, like that kind of vibe. But for me, I noticed that I like, and this is why I just know that I love romance, and like that's my genre, because in every book I'm looking for the romance. Like, that's all I want. Like, I'm like just getting bits and pieces of things, and I'm like, ooh, like I want more of that. And this book, I feel like, had a lot of like harder topics too. It talked a lot about race and like how we just as like black women and black men have to just work so hard to get so little, and how like the world doesn't really see us as safe. And I just think that there were so many good themes within the book that I really enjoyed, but I don't know, overall I wasn't obsessed with it. And maybe it's because I'm reading My Dark Vanessa and I'm really enjoying it, and maybe that's why. Guys, I know that this is not how you like get like flowers and stuff together. I can literally cut, like, use this knife to cut the flowers to make them like shorter. I know you're probably supposed to like use shears, but I just do not have the patience to take every single flower and like cut it with a knife. So I literally just like saw it with or cut it with a pair of scissors or shears. I literally just saw it. But yeah, so I don't know, I feel like I would definitely recommend it to people who have a big interest in music, in history, because it did talk about, like, it sprinkled in, which I think is why I felt like it was historical fiction, because it did sprinkle in like the history of like that time and now, like the recent years. It definitely sprinkled in a lot. So I feel like if you like historical fiction, you really like that, especially if you like books that are like by Black authors sharing like our history. I think that that is a good one, but again, I just wasn't like super enthralled by it. But I definitely will continue to read more literary fiction. I'm actually heading on a trip, and I'm going to New York City, which is actually going to be a whole vlog in and of itself, because I'm going to visit some friends, and you guys know who they are. Whenever I like get there, I will like, they'll obviously be in the vlog, but I'm going to visit some friends, and I literally cannot wait to go. We're going to be doing like some bookish things, but I am probably going to make that a whole like vlog in and of itself, but the travel process I will share with you guys. But I am bringing a lot of different types of books, and I'll show those on the other vlog. But I feel like I need to like take a little break from reading literary fiction and like contemporary fiction, because I am a romance girl. Like, I'm a romance girl through and through, and when I don't get the romance, I feel like I just am itching for it, and I don't want to like rate books like not highly or like not enjoy it because there's not romance when literally the book is not about romance. So I'm going to probably read a couple romances, like not in this video, but just to like give myself a little break, and then come back with more like literary fiction. I think I have, or contemporary fiction. I think I have one more book that I want to read. So yeah, I need to figure out where I'm gonna put these. I always get flowers and I'm like, oh my God, I love the idea of having like floral arrangements all around the house, and then I'm like, where the heck do I even put these? Maybe I'll put these like in the living room or something. I'm not really even sure. I decided to put these on our dining room table. I think they look so pretty, and I kind of like spread them out. I don't want them to be too close because I wanted it to have like a more full look, and I think it looks really nice. Little Amazon haul, and then I want to give you guys a book review. I guess I'll give you the book review first because I feel like I have a lot to say, but also not a lot to say because I'm so close to being finished with both of these books. So I had to take a break from reading Mind Dr. Vanessa this morning. Obviously, you guys saw. This book is tearing me apart, like absolutely breaking me in two, not putting me back together, like just breaking me in two. Literally, that's it. So I've definitely had to take breaks, and I feel like it has been nice to have other books to read while I'm reading this book. I started Black Cake, and I'm actually pretty far into it. I think I told you guys that I was starting this book. I am on page 271, and it's okay. I feel like I'm not super invested, and maybe because my emotions are so heavily tied to this book right now. Like, you know, sometimes you'll get into a book and you're just like this book is everything. Like, I feel like that's how I feel about this book. I feel like I would almost enjoy this more if I was reading this without reading this one. But this book just has a hold on me right now. I don't think I've ever felt this way reading like a literary contemporary fiction type book. And this is why I feel like I don't normally read this genre. Like, I do read fiction, but usually it's like thrillers or romance. Like, I don't usually read literary fiction or contemporary fiction or historical fiction, and it's because it is so realistic. Like, I feel like even with romances, like if something wild happens, like it's not my life, and I'm like well aware that like, yes, those things happen, but it's almost like I'm not sure if it actually happens. You know what I mean? Like, example, Magnolia Parks. Like, obviously there's a lot of drama in that series, and I'm obsessed with that series, but like, it doesn't feel as real, almost. Reading literary fiction and contemporary fiction feels very real, but also I think it feels real because usually you don't get a happy ending, and you usually get, and not that like the Magnolia Park series is a happy ending, but I feel like it is just like easier to digest. Like, this book is so hard to digest, and it actually reminds me of the book Night Crawling by, I can't even remember the author, but I'll show you guys in a second because I still own that book, and I read it, and it was such a hard read, and I feel like the book to me was enjoyable, but it was like so hard, like so hard. I want to say I think I rated that book like 3 stars because like it was just really, really hard. to like read and get through, and the ending was sad, and like everything was just sad. Like the whole book was sad, and I feel like this book is that. I only have about 30 pages left, so I still do have like just a little bit to go, but I kind of feel like the ending is gonna be sad. Like I don't know, but I just have that feeling. This book so far, again, I feel like I'm not super into it. I'm kind of excited to like watch the show or movie or whatever, because I feel like maybe I'll be more invested. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with these books so far. I can't fully give a rating yet because I haven't finished them. I do have 2 books that I actually showed these on my Instagram stories, so make sure you guys are following me there, because I share a lot of things in real time that I don't share here, or if I share here, I'll share later. And I opened up this little haul where I picked up Soulmates by Susan Lee, who she was the author who donated that big box of books whenever I like donated books to the free library, which I'm getting ready to do again. You can see all those books back there. They're like ready to go. And then Broken by Fatima Bala, and this is a Muslim story, love story, and it's about a girl who grew up in a really sheltered home, and she's kind of trying to like break free of that and like do her own thing, and it looks so good. One of you guys actually recommended it to me because you said that this is like a great time of year to read a book like this, and I totally agree. So I'm really excited. On the front it says, traditional roles and conservative cultures serve as a backdrop for this beautifully heart-wrenching tale of love and loss, and it's from New York Weekly said that on the front. So really excited to read this one. I feel like it'll be a really good romance, and I love reading diverse reads, so I feel like this is perfect for that. And this book, it says, her ex-boyfriend wants her back. Her former best friend is in town. When did Hannah's life become a K-drama? And I've heard from so many people on TikTok that have read this book. They loved it, and they said that it literally felt like you were watching a K-drama. So I feel like this will be really good. The cover is really cute, and it has a little blurb from Christina Lauren. You guys know that I love Christina Lauren's writing. They are an incredible author duo. They wrote Love in Other Words, and they said the perfect childhood friends to lovers story, full stop. That's all I need. Like, that's my favorite trope, is friends to lovers. So literally, that's all I need. This is the book that I was talking about. I feel like this book is so realistic and so sad, and I read this a while ago, and I still like think about it because it just is very realistic, and that's how I feel reading the book that I'm reading right now. I've read all of these books on this little coffee table, and I actually love this. I will link this below. It's one of my favorite like home decor pieces because it's such a nice talking piece. Like whenever friends come over, they're like, oh my god, like where'd you get it? It's so cute, and I totally agree. It's like one of my favorite pieces. I finished both these books, and I almost don't know how to feel. Like, I really don't know how to feel. I feel like I've sat with this one for a little bit because obviously I was reading this book for like the last half of the day, like the sun is setting, and I don't know how to feel. Like, I feel like this one wasn't my favorite. Right off the bat, I feel like my first initial rating is like 3 stars. I don't think was bad. It just wasn't anything that like held me, and I think it's because I was reading it while I read this book. Like, I know I already said that, but like I really think that's why. This book was so heartbreaking, and so like it was such a tough one to get through. And if you guys watched my last vlog, whenever I was in New York City, you guys know I've kind of been like having a hard time just with like not having my dad around and stuff. And so I feel like my headspace has already kind of been like very just like we're struggling over here. And I came out to this park because it's across the street from the coffee shop where I was at, and it's just like the only one that's over here not realizing that this is the park where my dad would always take me as a kid. Because as a kid, you don't really know where you're going. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not driving. Like, my dad would always, like, drive, or we would, like, bike over here. And I just didn't really, like, realize that this was the park, but this is the only park with an amphitheater. So coming over here, I was just like, oh my gosh. Please don't make me cry again, because, guys, I have been down bad. Like, down bad. Oh, I cannot cry. I feel like I've been crying every single vlog. I've just been so down bad. And I think it's like partially because Easter is coming up in like a week and a half, or like a week or whatever. And normally my family, we'd all get together. Obviously my mom, she moved. She's like a 4-hour plane ride away now, so she's not close anymore. And all my siblings don't live here. So things are just very different. And this year I was telling Brady, I was like, well, what are we going to do for Easter? Like, are we just going to be with your family, or like, should we have the siblings over that are here in town? Things are just so different. And I think I was sitting there, oh my God, not me literally like sobbing again in this vlog. I've just been so down bad, like so down bad. And I like want this to be a space of like joy, but I just don't like, I just want to be honest with like where I'm at, and it's just been really hard without my dad, and like with all the changes going on in life. And I know I'm not the only person who is going through hard changes, and maybe you didn't lose a parent, but maybe you're just adjusting to like a parent's divorce or family moving away. Change is just hard in general, hard to adjust to, hard to get through, and it's very isolating because it's a experience that you and only you can understand in the moment when you're in it. But I know other people have been through it, so I'm not the only person who's lost a parent. But sitting out at this amphitheater, I could just like, sitting there, I was just like thinking about when we were kids and like running around, and I could almost hear us. And it didn't even feel that long ago that like we would all bike here and we would stop. This was like literally the park where, I don't know if you guys remember in the last vlog where I was talking about how we would like bike and get peanut brittle and stuff and come to the park. It was this park or Washington Park that we'd come to, and we would like play on this amphitheater, and we would pretend that we were like just, you know, in a play, or just pretend all kinds of things. And my dad would just sit and like watch us do our stupid silly little skits and stuff. And I just started getting emotional over there, as I obviously am right now. But I think reading this book was very hard right now, and I need a fluffy little romance. And I actually stopped reading literary fiction, contemporary fiction, thrillers. I didn't even start reading thrillers again until like a year ago, because like life was just like, my family's just been going through a lot of adjustments really over the last few years. But because I think I shared like last year how there was like, you know, my brother had like a manic episode and stuff, and like there's been a lot of things going on. And so I couldn't even read thrillers for the longest, because it would put me into a headspace that I just like did not want to be in. And I've just started dipping my toe back into like other genres that are not like always a happy ending. But I feel like reading this is like, okay, dial it back, like reel it back in, because you're not ready to dive into the deep end and read books like this, because this book was very sad. Very, very sad. I kind of want to look on Goodreads and see like some of the reviews of what you guys have said. Let me see, because I feel like I like reading you guys' reviews, because you guys are all, I don't know, just I feel like you guys give good perspectives of what to expect in a book, and I really take your like reviews and ratings very, very seriously. One of you guys said, and I follow back like everyone on Goodreads who follows me, but one of you that like followed me on Goodreads, and I follow you, you said, so many emotions. This book A book this length would normally take me a couple days to finish. I clocked in just under 9. At times I had to force myself to take breaks and process what I had to read. Feel that. More often than not, I felt sick or angry or mix of emotions. I legit have never felt simply from words on paper before and just had to clear my thoughts and the negative energy I felt. Literally. I've never in my life hated a character more than I do, and I don't want to say the character's name because if you don't know what the story is about, I don't want to like spoil anything. The story of Vanessa. And then she tells like the story of her. She said, the context of this book was so difficult for me to read, yet at the same time it's so beautifully written, raw, vulnerable, and relevant. A 5 unapologetic stars. Wow. I agree with that. Not 5 stars, but I do agree that it is like such a great book. I think that I would rate it. I think I told you guys 4 stars. One of you said that the book actually reminded you of the book All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. So now I kind of want to read that because I actually really did enjoy this book. But one of you said, I'm going to think about this forever. Noted. Like, I feel like I will too. Yeah, so many of these reviews are very good, and it looks like the overall rating is like 4.1. So I feel like I'm in good company. Like, most of you guys really enjoyed this book. But yeah, really enjoyed this. I think I'm going to end the vlog here because I have finished 3 books, and I let you guys know that the Opal and Nev was like, it wasn't amazing, it wasn't not amazing, it was just, it was. And then this book, 4 stars. I feel like this has made me realize that I do want to read literary fiction and like read more of it, but I want to be just very intentional about when I read it. And I also don't think that I can read all like literary fiction at one time, because like that has been a lot for me. Like 3 literary fiction, contemporary fiction books like at one time. Like I need some fluff in there. I need to see the goodness of the world. I also feel like I'm the type of person who I take on the emotions of others. Like I'm very much like if I see someone who's sad, I'm also sad for them. I have empathy in that way, and I feel like the same for books, even if they're not like real people. And that's why I am very intentional about, like, if you guys go on my TikTok or my Instagram, I don't follow a ton of people. If anyone's like ranting or in like a bad mood or anything, I will not like watch their content. I don't watch movies that are like scary or like really negative. Like I try to keep my mental space very happy and very like free of negativity, because I find that I take on those emotions so much that I become whatever that person is. And I don't want to become that. I feel like I've shared this, but maybe I haven't. In high school, I really struggled with like deep feelings of sadness, and I also did in college, and it's taken me a long time to get out of that headspace, and I'm not in that space anymore, but I have to be incredibly intentional not to go back there. And I feel like when life is hard, it's easy for me to gravitate towards things that will pull out those feelings that I like. And I wouldn't say suppress, because I definitely don't suppress them. Like I know they're there, but like I don't sit in them. Like I'll feel them and then like let them go, because like I could literally sit in those feelings and feel those feelings for years at a time. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like reading these books are good, but I definitely need to take them like in doses. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this provided perspective for you. If you're someone who doesn't normally read books in this genre, you should branch out. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, you guys saw me literally crying over this book. The other 2 books weren't amazing. They weren't not amazing. They just were. But they could have been someone else's book that they were obsessed with. And I think that literary fiction and contemporary fiction books really pull out something in you that some other books can't. So it's kind of nice to like jump into those occasionally. Not all the time, but occasionally. So yeah, I'm feeling so much better now that I've like just been sitting here talking to you guys and talking about books. That's the thing, is that I feel like after my dad passed, I didn't want to stop like hanging out in this space, because talking about books and being around you guys and talking to you guys is so healing for me. Like it puts me in the best mood. Like the more that I've been sitting here, like it's been like what, 11 minutes or something. Like the more I've been sitting here, the more I've been like, okay, like it is okay. Life is okay. It's all going to work out. It's going to be okay. And I think like talking about books and like having this community really, really makes me feel that way. So thank you guys for being what you are, which is a safe space, a like comforting space, and just like a big hug. 'Cause I need that. And I'm just grateful for you guys. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.